argument. Every single person that plays football has a different passion, and I would not consider football the passion. Their individual passion.
And I think that maybe there are some of these people who exist where like they love football. They don't care if they're the coach. They don't care if they're the towel boy. They don't care if they're the water boy. They want to be in and near football. Yeah. Like I know people like that. Yeah. But like if you started up, but in my opinion, if you started off as a player and like you wanted to go D1 and you didn't go D1, so then you quit playing football. Yeah. Football, you did not
exactly. That's my exactly. You know?
Welcome to another episode of StoryTime podcast, episode 10. November 5th, November 5th.
That's the day.
Shout out to Emily's birthday. Also the same day that Zenon's album dropped. And it really feels good because it sounds good. Let's go, Z. Talk to us about the album. How do you feel about dropping that today?
I mean, it's finally here. This album's been in the work for more than since COVID. Let's just say that.
Really?
Yeah. So, I mean, that's when I wrote like the first song, and I think the first song was "Gangway" that I wrote. So like I wrote that right around COVID. So yeah, it's been a long time in the making. It feels great to finally have it out there to fruition, and I hope everyone goes and takes a listen. I hope obviously I hope I get some good numbers on it, but at this point, it's out, and I'm done, like, worrying about it too much. I'm just, everyone I meet now, it's just like, hey, by the way, I make music. Go check out this album.
And it's out on all platforms, Apple, Spotify.
Yeah, everything.
What else? Yeah.
I mean, I'm on, like, Pandora and stuff, too, bro.
Oh, man.
Everything.
So
everything.
You know you made it when you can click, like, so, like, we can type, like, Zeno on Pandora, and it's, like, a station.
I did it on my mom's Pandora.
Yeah, is it a station now, too, or no?
Well, I mean,
or is it just the album? Because I think Pandora is like station radio or something like that.
Well, I'm sure you could do a radio based on Zeno. I don't know. I don't usually use Pandora like that.
I used to always use Pandora.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
I love Pandora.
Pandora's nice for finding new music too, right? You put in some artists you like, and then it'll throw in some like random songs in there, and you're like, hey, this kind of fire.
Oh yeah, that was Discovery Channel right there.
Yeah.
Kabir, Man, Kabir got the chest open today. Looking. I'm too sexy. I'm too sexy. Too sexy for this podcast. Because last week he did not show up. What's going on, Kabir? How you?
Last week I had an appointment with a bank to get a loan out, but I got a new laptop.
Hey,
a nice little MacBook Air, so that's also good. I just gotta set it up and set my accounts up.
We really
got Final Cut Pro, so got the software up there.
Let's go. We moving on.
Everything's really good.
We moving on.
That's what I'm up to, man.
This first news for me too. I didn't even know you got it. I didn't know you got it. This first news for everybody. I think even quiet.
That's right.
Usually not throwing on stereotypes. But, some color skins just don't know how to keep their mouth shut. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
If you catch what I'm picking up what I'm putting down. I guess I'll go next. I guess I'll go next.
Where was you at last weekend? Or last Friday?
Right, that's the real question. That's the real question.
All right, well, I guess I'll go.
All right.
That week's been nice. We're pushing through. You're pushing through. I think I like college a little bit better than high school because it's only a semester. It's not a year.
A semester at a time.
You know what I mean? So a lot of the times, like, I'm thinking of my coursework, like, I'm going to have to suffer just like this all year. And then every time, like, I re-surprise myself. I'm like, wait, after Christmas,
it's over.
I'm like, okay, like, I can do it now, like, bet, like, say less. So,
hey, we were just talking about that. We just got to make it. We just got to make it until...
Put your goals into perspective, like seriously. But yeah, so that's kind of what I've been doing this week. I'm not sure how much I alluded to last week, sort of like learning more about yourself that contradicts what you previously knew about yourself. And really just accepting the fact that, like, we change and we grow, and sometimes that can be uncomfortable. Some believe that you cannot grow without being uncomfortable. But It doesn't mean that we always like it, and I don't think I like it. But yeah, so hey, that's what we've been on. That's what we've been chewing on. And
once again, changes. Switch 'em up, flow, Bryce Heyman. Oh, I messed it up. But that's shout out once again to Zen's album. Changes. All right. I guess I'll throw my week in there. So this week, I think I dedicated a lot of time to with something that we alluded to a couple weeks ago, but we talked about really figuring out some stuff with the MXI and our Malcolm X Institute of Black Studies organization here on campus. So I dedicated a lot of time to that. I am super excited because we have some new parts of our business that's being added, as well as collaboration with Malik and what he intends to do with diversity and inclusion. So we started those conversations. We've got our ideas. We were brainstorming, staying up late nights all week. I'm super motivated to bring that to you guys as soon as possible. I'm telling you guys now, like, we're taking some stuff. We're changing some stuff. I mean, Zenon's, we're looking in Excel. Breaking down these college films. We're breaking them down to the ideology of, the answers, the structures of what, these students are saying in the same sense of, what race is saying this, what gender is saying this across the state. We're breaking it down to give you guys a visual, a pie chart. 54% of black students said they feel safe on campus between these. So we're breaking that down as a guinea pig for what we look to move forward with doing this work for all kinds of stuff. So I'm excited. You guys excited about that? Like I'm very excited about moving forward with that. Being able to break that down. I know me and Chase collabed a couple times this week. We reached out to Coach Shaman at the high school, getting that ball rolling on that piece. So I mean, hey, this week has been fire, phenomenal. Not to mention, I sent out an email because people don't realize how difficult it is to tailor an email to different companies. So like I tailored 10 different emails this week. So give me a pat on the back. Like that is, please, I tailored 10 different emails. It's not even the fact that it's just how tedious it is to tailor something specifically for somebody. I could have easily catcalled them, but guess what? None of them replied. Mm-hmm. But that's what you got to do when we're going through ground.
Hey, none of them replied yet.
Yeah. Mark, that's what I'm saying, man. That's fire, man. That's fire right there, man. That just gives me more fire to my flames, Z. Thank you. Yeah. Keep that. So that was my week. Very energetic, very motivated, very happy, good spirits, and it's only going to be capped off with this weekend that we have a phenomenal event coming up. Ecstasy, Zen is performing. My good friend John's performing. We're going to have a phenomenal weekend.
You're pumped up right now.
I am pumped up. I am pumped up. One more class of the day. I mean, this week was really, genuinely the start of something great. So I'm super excited.
For me, my week was good. I didn't have, I would say, any downs. It was pretty much all ups. My classes are going well. Semester is, it's almost to the point where it's like you're counting down for the semester to be over. So I'm looking forward to Thanksgiving that's coming up. But yeah, for me, it was a good week. But of course, I brought the quote of the day. It's super simple, but it's just make your passion your paycheck. Simple as that. Make your passion your paycheck.
Oh, why you bring that to us? We got a lot to say about that. We got a lot to say about that.
I feel like there's a lot we already said about that.
Right, I was about to say.
But we can talk about that all day, every day. That's everything that we revolve around, Chase. Say it again for the people who didn't catch it first time.
Make your passion your paycheck, whatever it is. Whether you like baking cookies or building furniture, if you love to do it, there's always money that can come to it. So just do what you love to do.
For real. I feel like personally, I'm really at a crossroads with that, and we could even dig into my situation if we want. But Please, it's with music, it's really hard to make money with music, and I'm at a point right now where I'm putting money in, I'm not getting nothing back. You know what I'm saying? And of course, I love music. Music's my passion, right? I love to make it my paycheck. But I guess we can get into it more. At what point, right? Do you have to? I don't know. You have to, because right now, I'm going through college. I'm gonna go get myself a job. all that so I can like support myself while I'm pursuing the music. And so, at some point, hopefully I'll be able to cross over to just doing music. But right now it's tough. You know what I'm saying?
It is
because like I said, I'm putting lots of money into music. I don't have a lot of extra money now because all my extra money goes to the music stuff, and I'm not seeing great results. Obviously, I don't have like 100,000 followers. I'm not like way up there. I did just drop the album though, so we gotta give it some time. Yeah. I got a lot of pushing I could do with the album, getting it out there. But yeah, I mean, and so I guess for the listeners out there, right? Like if you could very well be in the same boat as me, where like you have a passion, but you're just not seeing it. Like you're not seeing how it's possible. Mm-hmm. But I think the main thing is just don't give up. And so I'm gonna keep, I'm gonna keep doing music like on the side and like pursuing my degree, or maybe I'll end up going full time with Chris's business, What's Your Story vlog. But until there's gonna be a point where you can transition. Right, but it has to stay on the side at some point. Like, you can't just go all in on your business because it's not going to make music right away. You know what I'm saying? So, if you guys want to break that down more.
I would give a slight pushback to that.
Okay.
The reason being, and I want to say, before I even make my point, that I think that it's a strategic way to make money off of anything, and this is just thinking about capitalism, right? You can make money off of anything that is your passion. You just have to learn how to market yourself in that sense of to meet the capital of America, right? You have to be able to find a need and fit your music to fit that demand. If you can do that,
let's use my music as an example. Like this is the example. Yeah. So tell me how. You know what I'm saying?
So it would be almost like and a core example that I can think off the top of my head. Okay, I make music as a college student. I know that there's a need for other people to release music, right? Whether that's because what does music do? It releases, stimulating. It makes your health essentially better, right? For many people, if I can find someone who needs music, say for example in a high school or elementary school, I could fit that demand of providing music for either a course or a classroom or someone that needs that. Therefore, I can find a way of getting paid for that. So that's just off the top of my head,
That doesn't make sense to me.
So maybe
I cannot provide my music to elementary schools right now.
Why not?
Because it's explicit.
But no, it's the fact. It's the thing of music, right? Do you love making? I guess if the only type of music that you like is explicit music, then I guess that's one thing, right? So then that wouldn't be a route that you would take.
I'm not trying to make music, for someone else's needs. I like to make music to express myself, and what I'm saying, to express emotions and to like talk about my life, and what I'm saying, and to be clever with the wordplay and stuff. So I don't see myself getting to schools.
And I think that like the difference I think it's really comes down to like what you mean by music, because like when I hear what you're saying, I'm thinking of like Zenon playing the piano for like the local middle school.
Yeah.
Right. And
so,
yes,
like
they'll
skills.
pay. Right, like selling your skills.
And there is a lot of ways that I could make money through the music industry, right? Like I already have a whole training course that I'm invested in that it's going to teach me. I could right now I could learn everything I need to know to be a mastering engineer, and I could create my own business and be a mastering engineer. But that's not my passion. My passion is making my music.
Okay.
Stick with it, bro.
That's what I was about to say, because I was about to say like you had another point to make with that.
And just what I was gonna say, I just feel like, regardless of what you do, it's about understanding capitalism and finding a demand to meet. Like, I think everyone's passion meets someone's demand, and that's how you create money. You just have to figure that out.
Like it's people out there who, if they heard my music, they'll like it. Exactly. I know that, and actually part of we could really break down like the music industry, right? And the more times someone hears your song, the more likely they are to like it. Because, you know, it's a lot of songs, and I know everyone out there can relate to this. You hear it at first, and you're like, I don't really like this. You hear it a few more times, and then it gets stuck in your head a little bit, and you're like, I like it now. So some of that comes to just, like, forcing people to listen to it over and over again, whether that's through paying for social media ads or, you know, maybe... but, like I said, all that requires more money to be invested in money that I don't have, right? So... Like, I'm not saying it's impossible to make it as a music artist. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, first, it's very difficult, and I can't go full all into music right now. It's just, I don't think it's possible until I have a solid fan base and I get to that level to where I can support myself.
So I would ask you this: do you believe that you could go all in your music, and like it would and you would become successful from that?
I believe I could survive. At
but
least.
Do you think that going all in would result in the kind of success that you're looking for?
And that's a deeper question and a harder question.
Okay,
because that's something I've kind of been reflecting on. Because personally, I don't even know if I would like performing, and that's how you make a lot of your money as an artist.
Right. Especially starting off, right? So, do you think your music? Do you believe in your music enough that if you were to, that you think like you'd be okay?
Can you break that down a little bit?
Like, do you believe in quote unquote your product enough that like you could drop everything else and solely invest yourself on its success, and you believe that it would be successful? So, for example, like, do you feel like...
I believe my music is good, if that's what you're asking.
No. But do you think it's good enough? Like, good enough to achieve the goals that you're setting out for?
That's a tough question because I kind of fluctuate in that regard. Sometimes I look at my music, I'm like, oh my God, like, this is fire. Like everyone's going to love this. But then other times I look back on it and I'm like, you know what? I don't know. Like, I can see why somebody wouldn't like this, or you know, this isn't perfect, and it'll never be perfect.
I would ask the question. We understand that you like music, but also you alluded to you liking music because it allows you to express yourself. So, would music necessarily be your passion?
What do you mean?
Whatever
music I'm inspired to make.
But no. Think about it. You said that you make music to express yourself, to let go of your feelings, to do things. I would argue that would be
and
your
to
passion.
be artistic.
And to be artistic, right? But like, would we say that music is your passion,
or is it just an expression medium? Is this a way for you to? Is it your true like life's passion, or is this a way for you to express yourself? Or is it both, right? Because it can be both, right? But like there is a line, right, between like, so for example, like I write poetry. I think I write pretty good poetry. I could not see me living the rest of my life as a poet, as a full-time, like that's all I do is poetry. It was just too boring.
And I would say the reason that you write poetry is your passion.
Purely expression, right? Like purely me expressing forms of me and like through this medium.
And so you're passionate in expressing yourself.
Oh, absolutely. Certainly not even as passionate as you in your career, right? I mean, I could, I have tried to put together like anthologies, right? And part of it is like I think that maybe like that the artist is worst critic, right? Also, so it's kind of like like we're just harder on ourselves. But I'm certainly not even as I would say certainly not even as passionate about poetry as you are about music.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't see myself ever stopping making music.
Yeah.
If that answers the question. But I am passionate about other things as well.
But it's like, could you do a full-time career? Like, could you eat, like, every morning? Could you wake up, work on your music, take a break, 5-minute, 10-minute break, play video games, and then go back to working on your music? Like, think about it in terms of, like, how an NBA or like, NFL player practices.
Yeah.
They do that all day. And
I'm glad you brought that up.
That idea,
I was about to.
Yeah.
Like that idea to me as a person who like really doesn't even like sports at all, like that is like that would be my hell, right? Like having to do that every day.
Yeah.
Like that.
Well, I don't know. I'm a strong believer that you can't force art. So like I could go in the studio and like make music every day, but like you can't really like force it. You know what I'm saying? And like I think that I could just sit around and make music all day, every day. But I mean, it's a little more that goes into that being a professional artist because, like I said, it's performances, right? You're gonna have interviews, you're gonna go on radio shows, freestyles, right? You gotta do your marketing campaigns, like so. It's a lot that goes into that, and I could really see myself doing it. The problem is like, you know what I'm saying, getting there from where I am.
See, I'm just curious, and I just want to keep it here because I think that we can ask this to all of us. What is your passion? So, like in this scenario, we described music as the passion. We said music was the passion, but if music was the passion, it would be all music, because music is a broad, general thing.
And I guess
music is the vehicle, right, of expressing your passion, your true passion of expressing.
Please,
so, like, what do you guys think?
No. I'm glad you said that, asking about your passion, because for the longest time, you know, when I was playing football, my goal in life was always to help people and give back. And football allowed me to do that because it put me on a platform where people knew who I was, so that I was able to, you know, go back to the high school and talk to people, or I was able to, you know, just help out my community. So when I stopped playing, I was like, well, how can I still have a platform to do what I love, which is to help people, and not, you know, not be a football player anymore. So I think that for me, my passion was never, not take that back. My passion was football, but it was also giving back to the community.
So the passion was expressed by football.
Correct.
So
the vehicle to, like you said, the vehicle to get me to my passion was through football.
Yeah. What do you think on that, Kabir?
My take on it would be,
what is your passion? You know, what is your take?
the way of expressing just how you feel also changes, as well as your passion will change. So, like, I used to like drawing a lot. I used to express myself in drawing. I took drawing courses. I thought I'd go into the Institute of Art and Technology up in Chicago. That all changed. I wanted to be a football player. Well, not a football player, but like a personal trainer at one point. So I started getting in the gym a lot. That's how I started expressing my passion to do that. Then that all changed. And then I found, you know, camera, photography, and video editing. Started doing that, expressing myself in my editing. So the way, your passion is not one thing for your whole life. It'll change throughout your life, and the way you express it will also change too.
And we need to leave. This is part of my issue, right? We need to leave room, and like for that change, and that change is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with starting off in your life saying, "Damn near, like I want to work for like Walt. Like I want to be an animator for Walt Disney." Right, and then like waking up one day and realizing like that's not really what I can see that's not really what I want to do for the rest of my life. And that's kind of like where I've been at, is for the first time in my life I've had that blatant realization. That's not, and it's like, damn.
A lot of times, and as you tend to grow
It
older,
hurt. It does.
as you tend to like grow and age, you start to think like, am I really stuck at this 9-to-5 thing? You start to feeling that glue to just waking up and doing this every single day, when in reality it's all up here. As soon as you don't like something, or you see that it's not really, no matter how good it's benefiting you, if you physically don't like it, you can change it. You're never really stuck. Right?
So kind of like what I'm hearing us address is kind of, we have a passion that constantly changes, but also our vehicle that we use to express our passion also constantly changes.
Certainly.
So then it's like, going back to Zenon's point, I want to hear what Zenon's kind of thought on that is. Your passion has consistently been the same with the consistent vehicle. So do you think that that's how it's always been for you? Or do you think that you're avoiding the change?
I need you to break that down a little bit.
And it's like, is the music, is him writing the music the vehicle to express his passion, or is him writing the music the passion? Like, I think like that's the tough part, is like we don't know like what his passion is. So for Chase, his passion was to help people. So for Zen, like the question would be, is your passion to I guess
what
like,
is your
speak
passion?
to people?
What is your passion? Yeah,
My passion is making music and playing video games and having conversations like deep conversations with people, especially in regards to innovation. Those are my passions.
Okay, so this is the tough part, because like that's like if you're passionate about making music and playing video games, can we say that those are passions? Can we really say that those are passions?
Yeah.
Because like, can we say that football is a passion?
Okay.
Yeah.
If your passion is making music, does it matter what music you make?
Yeah.
Does the music have to express you?
I mean, then it's not quite the same.
But then your passion isn't making music, right? Then your passion would be making music that expresses you.
But okay,
so in a sports,
let me reframe it.
Okay, you go
My
ahead.
passion is making fire music I would enjoy listening to, music that isn't already out there.
But does it have to be an element of you, or can you write a fire song that has nothing to do with you and still have the same fulfillment?
If it's a fire song, if it's a song that I think is like really good and I would enjoy listening to, because I've listened to I remember like listening to music every day in high school. I have my earbuds in class in the hallways and shit, and so it's like, is this a song that if I discovered, I would be like, this is a good song, and like that's what I'm passionate about, making music that I think is really good.
But isn't a song that you would find really good one that you can relate to, one that speaks to you?
Yeah, in a way. But I mean, I listen to songs that have nothing to do with my life.
Yeah.
So, songs about like gang banging and stuff. So
But do you
I still enjoy that music.
But do you find some sort of like relativity that connects it to you in some way?
I mean, the energy.
Okay. Yeah, that counts.
Let's bring it out to those, and then I'm gonna give it to you, Chase.
Mm-hmm.
But I was gonna bring it out to this is the reason why it's so important for us to do this analysis, right? Because like we're literally going through passion and what was the quote again?
Your passion, your paycheck.
Yeah, make your passion your paycheck.
Make your passion your paycheck, and many times we cannot do that because we don't know what we're passionate about to begin with. And so even when our passion changes, we don't know what it's changing from or what it's changing to.
Mm-hmm.
So Chase, going from that, this is why this is so important for you guys. I'm just breaking this to you guys. Now Chase, you said you got a sports analogy that you kind of want to bring it to.
Yeah, so Malik, you alluded to the fact that if Zenon wasn't making music for himself, like would he still enjoy just making music, right? And so when you said that, I thought about, okay, so let's take a high school football player who wants to make Division I, right? But then they don't. They go like Division III or NAIA. It's like, is football still your passion,
right?
Or are you just trying to?
See, I was thinking, I was already like, well, before you even said that, I was thinking of a similar analogy, but on a different analogy that's football related. Because in that situation, you're still the player.
Mm-hmm.
What I was thinking is like, if you're passionate about football as a whole, and your goal, right, what you want to do is be the player, and you want to go to the NFL, right, but you end up like being a coach.
This is my argument.
A high school coach.
This is my argument.
Like you're still doing football,
but you weren't passionate.
But you're not the player. You're the coach.
This is my argument. Every single person that plays football has a different passion, and I would not consider football the passion. Their individual passion.
And I think that maybe there are some of these people who exist where like they love football. They don't care if they're the coach. They don't care if they're the towel boy. They don't care if they're the water boy. They want to be in and near football.
Yeah.
Like I know people like that.
Yeah.
But like if you started up, but in my opinion, if you started off as a player and like you wanted to go D1 and you didn't go D1, so then you quit playing football.
Yeah.
Football, you did not.
Exactly.
Football
That's
was
my
passion.
exactly. That's not your passion.
Yeah.
Football wasn't your passion. Playing football was your passion. Playing football at the highest
Well,
level.
it could have been right.
Playing
It
football
could
at the
have
highest level.
You can still play as a D.
right. You're still getting game time.
Watch
At the highest
this.
level.
Watch this. Chase. Let's take it back. Chase, what did you love about playing football?
Well, for him, it was.
What was your passion?
Well, for me, it was just my ability. I loved playing football, but my passion was my ability to be able to connect with people. Mm-hmm. Football allowed me to connect with other people, and it gave me a platform to talk to different people, and it opened doors for me that I would not have been able to open without football.
Therefore, I think that's so transparent in every single these things are vehicles. No matter what they are, they can be substituted with something else.
Right.
Like so same with computer. He wanted to, what was it? Your passion was to express yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So like you expressing yourself in art, that transformed to working out in the gym, and then to videography. It's like all those things can be transformed. So like my thing is with Z, it's like we're trying to figure out what is the passion, because if the passion isn't necessarily music, it's something about music, which you kind of said, it allows you to express yourself. Something about video games that allows you to connect with others is your passion. So, but that vehicle can be transformed, right? Not to say you don't love that vehicle, but I'm saying that vehicle is a resemblance, or allowing your passion of flame, right? Mm-hmm. Allowing your passion of flame using that vehicle, which can be changed.
So, for example, like, money is really worthless, right? It's just an actual piece of paper, but it's what the money can buy you, right? Like, it's like my passion is to be able to have stuff, not necessarily have a lot of money, because what do you get if you just have the money, right?
That's good.
Like, it's a means to an end, right? But not necessarily the end you're seeking it. So
Yeah.
I don't know. All I got to say.
I was about to say, like, we don't expect you. Like, I mean, like, I couldn't even answer like those questions.
You're still young, so you have
trying
a lot
to explain
more time.
why I enjoy making music is tough.
It is.
Right.
It's like, but it's like, all I know is like, I like putting on a beat and creating music, like, whether it's freestyling or whether it's sitting down and writing stuff. But it's just like, I find joy in writing songs and like being clever with the lyrics, and like playing it back for myself and be like, ooh, like that was fire. Like, I can't believe I just made that. Like, that's good. And I guess for video games, I've always liked playing video games, but I think video games for me mainly is just like hanging out with friends, you know what I'm saying? And I guess it's getting away from the world a little bit. So I don't know how that relates, but I don't know. I believe
It's very tough, and I'll give it a perfect.
So if music isn't my passion, what's the underlying passion? I guess that's what I have to think about.
Gotta think about it, right?
Because, and I'll give myself for example. I loved the vehicle of video games. What did I do within video games? My passion was to be able to have fun. My passion was to be able to connect with others. I've transformed that vehicle into weekly meetings with my team, or more conversations, interactions in person, or having fun over, more. So like, that's how I was able to transform that vehicle, right? And my passion is still being like kindled, right? Like, it's still being reeled in the sense of within. So like, the question to you guys kind of to think about is, what is your passion? And also, what vehicle are you using to express that passion? Because the vehicle is what essentially allows you to make that paycheck. Mm-hmm. So it's like, if you can discover your passion can make you a paycheck. Is that what the quote is? Mm-hmm. The passion can make you make your passion your paycheck. You can do that if you know what your passion is, because you just may have to switch vehicles a couple times.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, it's a tough conversation you have to have with yourself, right? And it's not one of those things you're gonna sit down for 5 minutes and figure out, right? No, it's gonna take. It's gonna take weeks and months, and then one day it's just gonna up and just come to you. You're just like, oh, that's what I'm supposed to be doing.
Big facts.
Shit, it took me 3 years.
Big facts.
It took me 3 years to do this.
And honestly, I would say asking the question, why do I even love this, helps a lot. Like, why do I love this so much? Why do I love this vehicle so much? Why do I love this?
It just feels right.
Yeah, like, why do I love playing this sport? And that's really, this is perfect because I quit all sports. I was a 3-sport athlete in high school. I don't play. The only reason I play sports now is to get some exercise, right? It's because like it's the best way of getting exercise. But it's like, why did I love it so much? And like, I figured that out, and it's the same reason why I love this business so much, is because I am able to be creative, I am able to express myself, I am able to help others, I am able to have some flair, I'm able to show up and show out and make new plans, all kinds of stuff. The same stuff in sports I found in this business. which is the same reason why I love it the exact same way.
Honestly, I would say it's the same thing for me when it comes to like theater. You know, like I never thought for a second.
Those are two different vehicles too. So talk about
two
it.
very different vehicles. I honestly never thought that, you know, I would go from playing football to, you know, acting in a class. Like, you don't think about that, you know. But now that I have, it's like when I'm up on that stage performing, I get the same feeling that I got when I was like on the field.
Yeah.
It's like all eyes on me.
Yeah.
And I love that feeling. Like I'm not trying to be conceited, but it's like that's a great feeling to have when everybody's watching you do what you love to do.
That's right.
And it's a great feeling.
It's the same thing too. That is so crazy
Yeah.
because like in plays, like everybody's sitting in the seat. It's like the bright lights on
exactly,
you.
yeah.
It's literally nerve wracking.
It is.
Just like a football game. Like
It
when
is.
you know, wow. That's crazy.
I never thought about it in that context until I actually had to perform, and I'm like, wait a minute. This reminds me a lot of what it felt like to play football, and it's just clicking on, you know, all cylinders right now, and it's a great feeling.
Yeah.
I think what I loved about football, and I didn't even care how many people were watching, what I loved was getting the ball in my hands and making something happen. Whether it's like making people miss, right, doing something spectacular, making a crazy catch that no one expected, scoring touchdowns. That's what I loved from football.
Let me ask you a question. Do you get like when you're playing video games or when you're making music, do you get like an adrenaline rush?
With video games, yes. Like if I'm playing Warzone and I'm in there and I drop somebody, knock them, I hop out a window, run around the building, come in through the second story window, and then drop this teammate and get like a 3-man squad wipe on myself. That is like so similar.
I think you
to
lost
like,
some of us.
Right.
No, we got you.
I got into the weeds a little bit, but that's like such a similar feeling to what I would get on the field, right? And like when I get the ball in my hands and it's just like, you know, make a play, do something like cool. And I guess it's almost similar like that in music where I'm like doing something cool and making something, you know, spectacular.
I think your passion is the process of going through something, right? So like when you're playing video games, it doesn't just start out with you just completely like being great, or even when you're making music, it's a process that you got to go through to get to that point. The same with football. So I think for you love the adventure of the process.
Getting good at something?
Yeah, you love to go through it.
Honestly, Chase, bro, I think you just nailed it on the head.
Yeah.
Because, like, honestly, I like learning new things.
Exactly, yeah.
And, like, I learned how to solve the Rubik's Cube and stuff. So it's like, it was
process,
so fun, right?
yeah.
But then I got to a point where it's like, right, I can solve the Rubik's Cube in under a minute every time. But I can't, like, I don't know, I lost like the passion to keep going after that.
Just like kind of how we were talking about majors and stuff like that. Like you were saying how like the one you have now is just like you just don't feel it anymore.
Yeah, I think that's very accurate about me as a person. Is I like to learn new things, and then pursue it to a point where I'm above average, and then I get bored. And I want to do something else.
That's fair.
I want to talk about, and I'm gonna open the table now. I want to talk about how the systematically, I know those two words back to back, but it makes sense. How the system systematically forms you into not discovering your passion, and then not discovering your passion. The system systematically does not tell you that you can create your passion into a paycheck. They actually do the quite opposite. So kind of talk about like what you guys have seen upgrowing and what you guys have kind of heard and why this work has honestly taken us so long to kind of come to of course it's maturity, different stuff like that, of course. But you know, what have we seen? What is on the other side of this that's all around us, even here on college? You know, I'll give an example. In the classroom, a lot of people don't know what their passion is. They just know what an A is, right? So being around these people for me has been almost making me feel like I'm like, can I really turn my passion into a paycheck, or do I need to turn this A into a paycheck, right? So what other?
And taking that even further, a lot of people like aren't like they don't even like they don't know what their passion is, so they're not pursuing it, obviously. But a lot of people have this dream job, or this job that they're aiming for, when in reality they don't even know if they're gonna like it. Like they don't even know if it aligns with their passion. True. They might think that they're passionate about it. Like, I thought I was passionate about football, but obviously I'm not because I quit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So if we want to take it from there.
So you saying, I had this topic on my head. You saying the systematically
society
changes you to make you conform and go by the
way it's always been, right?
Yeah, I think just in my head, that's more of a. If you were to find your passion, you would unlock freedom in your mind, and I think that's what the government or the system does not want many people to do, is to unlock the freedom. They want them to still be slaves without slaves. You know what I'm saying? Because if you, I've worked.
Now, are you speaking from the perspective of a black man, or are you speaking as a citizen?
Citizen.
I was gonna say, yeah.
We're still slaves because we wake up and do that same thing every day, and we haven't unlocked our passion. But once you unlock that passion, and that whole quote, "If you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life," that whole thing will kind of like resonate, and it will unlock your mental freedom. And then you'll just never be stressed. You'll never be worried. You'll be comfortable. You'll literally feel like nothing else matters but you.
We're not saying you won't have bad times. There will always be times when you're up and times when you're down.
Right.
But it will be better.
Disclaimer.
If you're right. It would be better if you're doing every day what you love.
Exactly.
And honestly,
that's interesting.
Sorry, I'm kind of. This is a little. This is going back a little bit, backpedaling a little bit. But I realized what I did in my internship last summer really was. I think why I enjoyed it so much is because it was that passion that we just kind of
discovered.
Helped me realize. Because I was learning like how to do the data analytics stuff, right? I was learning how to do the Python coding to go collect the data and how to work with Excel and stuff with doing all the analytics and stuff. And so I was learning, right? But I would bet that once I get to a point where I'm good at it, like better than the average person, which I might even argue that I'm already better than the average person at it. But I bet I would get bored. And
I would say even like Python though, that's one of those things that will always continue. Like somebody be 3 steps ahead of you just because they're the ones creating it. So like they'll add some new system and some new so that that'll always probably be a vehicle for you if you like it that much.
Now, can you ask your question again?
So my question was, what does society have in place that necessarily corrupts us from developing an understanding of our self-passion, right?
Well, I mean, we could just look. All right, we're at 41 minutes now, so. We can't really get into the whole education system thing.
Well, yeah,
I didn't want to go there, but I was heading there.
What do you think, Chase?
That's where we're heading.
Somebody has something on that?
My thing is just like, I guess the school system. I mean, I understand like from a young age, right? You gotta teach them basics, the numbers and letters, how to talk, how to read, how to write. But then like moving on from that, there's all like this like curriculum that you're just trying to like teach people all this knowledge instead of, I guess. There's no classes where it's just like, pursuing your passions, if that makes sense. It's all like just trying to teach you a certain set of things and testing you on how well you're retaining that knowledge. And there's nothing that is asking people what their passion is, asking people what they want to. I mean, obviously they ask what job do you want, what field do you want to go into, but there's nothing in the education system itself that really challenges students to try and discover themselves and try and figure out and like we talked about, I don't know if it was last episode, it might have been 2 episodes ago, where your energy is used most efficiently when you're, I guess, doing what you're best at. Remember we brought in the economics and stuff, so we could argue that because the education system doesn't teach kids to figure out what they're good at or figure out their passion, then our energy as a society isn't
Passion driven, right?
Well, no, that's not where I was going. I was gonna say isn't efficiently allocated.
Which is kind of, I mean, you two would arrive at the same place.
I see what he said though. There's a slight difference enough to make a huge point in that. Because if everyone was passion driven, we would be in a much different society.
Right. If everybody did what they were passionate about,
it would be in a different society for sure. Anybody else have something on that? What do you think, Chase?
I'm gonna say this, but I know I'm about to get backlash for it. But
insurance bucket.
I just think that the education that we get in America, it prepares us for a 9 to 5. But not everybody.
That's how it's designed.
Yeah, but not everybody wants a 9 to 5 job. Yep. There are so many people out there who would love to be doing something different, but it's like they just can't because they weren't educated on how to do something different. They weren't taught to use their creative abilities to, figure out how they can,
defeat capitalism.
Change the world.
Yeah, create this bit. Like the first time I took like a business class wasn't until my sophomore year of college. And I think that's the problem. I think we should have courses in high school that fit everybody. So like, number one, I don't think that we should force college upon everybody because college isn't for everybody. I think we should talk a lot more about trade schools or art school or just pursuing whatever passion that you have is. I just don't think that. I just think that we push, going into, America, getting that 9 to 5 job, and it's not, reality. A lot of people have other dreams and stuff that they want to pursue, but it's not as easy because, growing up, that's not what we're taught.
And I agree with you, Chase. I think that you could drop a lot of classes out of college and out of high school and push them to like stuff you can learn after high school, like in college, if you want to pursue it. Like calculus and pre-calculus, you don't really need to know that, right? Unless you're going into something where that's relevant. Unless your passion is to pursue that in a field where that's relevant. So you could really like replace a lot of those classes. And like you could even say that like any history besides like basic U.S. history or world history isn't really necessary and stuff like that. And you really, teach everybody how businesses operate.
The question will be then at that point, is it too early?
No. You don't think high schoolers could try and wrap their heads around how a business operates?
I mean, I'm just saying like passion discovery. Like, is it too early to kind of, allocate that into a high school environment? I mean, it's no yes or no. I'm just, this is bringing it to the table.
I mean, apparently it's a highly debatable concept. I mean, like, there's always been this tension between, like, trade schools of, like, you go study and do what you want to do, or, like, do we take you to, like, the exact opposite, which is, like, a liberal arts college where you learn a little bit of everything and then, like, kind of focus out. But it's like we've always had that tension of like which one we want to choose, and part of it has been based on like the country's needs, or like our country needs in a sense like this strong class of 9 to 5ers. They make the country move, right? Like we need that. Like we need families, right? Like we need like that nuclear connection. Like it, in a sense, builds our society. So it's a kind of a fine, like everybody couldn't be a business owner, right? I mean, it'd just be a different kind of country.
So my point is, I wholeheartedly believe that education is important, and you're absolutely right. We do need people to work, a 9 to 5 job, but at the same time, I also think that we should offer more to people who don't think that way.
You're saying more opportunities other than this or that.
Right, exactly.
Basically.
Just offer more opportunities at a younger age for people to discover themselves sooner, rather than when they're 35 and they're like, this is not what I want to do.
So would you say that part of that process would be exposure?
Yes, a lot of it would be exposure. Exposing children to different opportunities and careers at a younger age than, when they're a junior in college.
Or even like a junior in high school.
Yeah.
Trying to choose which college to go to,
yeah.
right? Because they don't know. And it's like, when you say exposure, like I'm thinking of like taking some kids to a museum, right? Seriously, like look at what the other artists like have done like in the past, and like if this is what you're passionate about, like this is what you can do too, right? And just like all types of exposure.
Now Kabir mentioned earlier about the system not necessarily wanting to do this to retain us citizens as essentially slaves to the system. So after we kind of heard this, environment, I know it kind of sticks still true for your perspective, but do you kind of want to share some light on that?
I was actually about to play devil's advocate on that.
Okay,
So,
please.
I think when because the government has a way of doing things to hurt its own citizens at the same time. Like, yeah, you do need those 9-to-5ers, but why can't you enlist in the army when you're 18 and not buy alcohol until 21? So there's a way. I don't think exposing your children to all those avenues at that early age would be correct. Around the time when you can make a decision to give your life to the country and buy smokes that'll kill you 50 years later, that's probably the perfect time you should be introducing those options.
It's too late.
Now, the way you should be introducing it should not be going to school at 6 a.m., doing classes all the way to like 3 classes you probably don't even need. That would be like the only distinction between that. Like, between 15 and 18 or 15 to 20 is the perfect time for a human or young adolescent to be choosing or finding out their passion.
It's too close.
I wouldn't say too late, but I would say is that what's another term, because it's never too late, right? But what's a term for is that could we do it earlier?
Yes.
Could we do it earlier?
Yes.
Is the question. I guess.
And would it be more? I guess would it be more beneficial to do it earlier?
Would it be more beneficial
right?
to do it earlier?
I mean, but you have. I mean, it wouldn't hurt it if you did it earlier. But if you're already making decisions to whether you should sell your soul to the country, then to find your passion, I think that age would be like right on the dot.
I don't know how I agree with the premise.
Look, so like,
I mean, because
right now, like seniors in high school are already like riddled with stress on having to make this decision on what am I going to do with the rest of my life, because most of 90% of them don't know what they want to do with the rest
December
of their life.
17th, you guys will get a large spiel of what we're talking about right now. I will break it to you.
All right.
Literally, that's this.
And then, but also we have to keep in mind is like schools are like one important objective of schools is to like teach everybody, like try and give everybody basic knowledge. We want our whole society, we want every member of our society to have some sort of basic knowledge, right, and to be somewhat like intelligent and informed. And so we the schools still have to like do that. You want people to have common sense.
Okay.
Right? You don't want to be. I mean, you could already say that like a lot of people in our society are not very smart, but like imagine if like our school systems, right?
But it's not that. I think that the issue really, if you want to talk about government, I think the issue in a sense is like we have a democracy, right? So like you may see those people as like not smart, but really like they may know how to do calculus and physics better than any of us in here, right? But like the reality is like we live in a society to where like no matter how much math and physics you know, if you don't really understand in a sense like rhetoric and speech, like you don't like you don't understand how, if you can't understand how somebody like Trump could come on the scene and expose and literally like divide the country just by what he's articulating, just by what he's saying and how he's saying it, right? Like, if you want to talk about government, that's the issue. Is that like we're too vulnerable, right?
Let's save this.
Yeah, what I'm saying, like
we're gonna have to end it on that.
Hold on. But
I'm saying, like, I think to some extent, like the government has kind of mastered the kind of balance between that. When Trump and the Republicans had the Senate, they didn't do too much bad. When the Democrats have the Senate and the presidency, they can't do too much quote unquote bad, right? Mm-hmm. So we kind of really linger and like we kind of linger and slowly move towards progress. But in reality, like neither one of the system has been designed from its founding so that neither one of them, whichever one you think is good or bad, can't do too much.
Mm-hmm. Unless we would have let Bernie in there.
Right, yeah.
And Bernie was shut down by its own colleagues.
Yeah.
There's no way, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing is, empty promises and stuff. But, I mean, we could talk further about the education system, how it is and how it should be, and the government. how it is and how it should be.
I love Z for keeping us on
some-
time. Z for keeping us on track. Keep going.
Yeah, because this episode with the energy we got right now and the way that this is headed, we could talk for 3 hours.
And y'all know what's
And I gotta go to
Easily,
work.
yeah.
And look, y'all know what's crazy? We didn't even get a chance to bring up our
No, we didn't. We didn't
our-
even get into the
our lunch.
prepared topic.
I was gonna say the lunch conversation was what I wanted to talk about. We had another conversation, y'all, at lunch.
Hey, save it in the notes in the phone. We'll get to it eventually.
Yeah, we had another conversation at lunch that did not go anywhere. I don't remember what it was about. Oh, it was. Yeah, we gotta save that one. We can't say that one. So we're gonna bring that story to y'all next week. Let's wrap it up with go listen to let them know before they catch
I
you.
mean, we made this announcement in the last podcast.
We're making it every single announcement, every single podcast.
So
New
by the
listen.
time you guys hear this, it'll be 1 week from the album release. Hopefully, I have. Let me see. From the album as a whole, let's hope. I'm hoping for 1,000 views. I feel like that's a pretty low bar. I feel like we could hit 1,000
I'm in the
on
middle.
the album as a whole. So hopefully by next week I have 1,000 views. If you add all my songs together, hopefully we'll be at 1,000. I think that's pretty reasonable. So go out, go give it a listen. ZENNO, the beginning, everywhere.
Be bold, be great.
All right, look him in the eye. Look him in the eye.
Find your passion, earn your freedom.
I love that. Find your passion. Man, that's
Unlock your freedom.
That's firing me.
I like that.
We'll continue to bring you guys content. Chase,
Make your passion your paycheck.
November 25th, Thanksgiving, officially the launch for our clothing line. And we'll have all our gear and stuff on there. Thanksgiving. And we'll see you next week.